Hey friends, Madison and I are both over the age of 21 and everything we're doing is legal in Chicago. Please drink responsibly.
You're kidding.
You're kidding.
Okay, everybody listen up. I have something to say to intro this podcast.
Oh, okay. Say it then.
This is sort of a PSA, right? This is also sort of my statement to the people. If I could say one thing.
Your platform for running for president.
Yeah, this is what I would run for president on, honestly. Any cisgender. No, literally any man ever. Okay, any man ever to exist that has dressed up in Joker makeup from the Batman series.
Let him know.
Is insane and cannot be trusted.
I would have to agree with that statement.
I have never met a man I trust that has a picture of himself in Joker makeup.
Especially Heath Ledger and after.
Yeah, I do trust Heath Ledger, but he's famous, but not Jared Leto.
Not Jared Leto.
But it's no, not about Heath Ledger, though. We love Heath Ledger. Yeah, it's just the people that dressed up like
it's just about men now who are dressing up as the Joker.
Heath Ledger sent Viola Davis a rat during the filming.
No, that's Jared Leto.
That was Jared Leto.
Heath Ledger is a wonderful actor. Jared Leto is a piece of shit.
No, cut that out. I knew exactly.
Oh no, I'm leaving
it. Sorry. No, I knew exactly. So Jared Leto, I apologize.
No, I know what you meant.
No,
the cast didn't like him. The cast was not all the cast, but I remember a few people from the cast was just disgusted by him because he did some weird shit. What?
And then he also sent somebody a used condom. Will Smith. He sent
Will Smith.
And then later, now he's denied it, even though he was the one who said he did it.
Yeah, he admitted it on an interview, and then the next interview he did, he was like, "I did not do that."
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Yes, you did." And Will Smith is has told people about it as well. So
yeah, that is so weird.
Isn't he in a cult?
Yeah, he leads a cult.
He dresses up as Jesus, and then he held a music festival where he dressed up as God and
Yep.
Also won an Oscar for playing a trans woman, right?
Was that him or was that?
That was him. It was Jared. No,
I feel like there's been a couple actors to do that.
Are you talking about Eddie Redmayne?
I am talking about Eddie Redmayne.
But they both, Dallas Buyers Club though also was Jared Leto.
Yep.
Oh, I've never seen it because
you don't need to.
I don't want to. Yeah. Nobody watched that movie. Thank you.
Anyway, so after all of that, this is a podcast where we have opinions that are
Joker brained men must go.
Yeah,
exactly.
That is my platform.
And if you're sitting there defending it right now, then you can throw yourself in with that.
Yeah. No Jokers. This is a Joker-free zone.
And that's the thing is I love Batman and I love comics. And I actually have a painting of a Joker in the sunroom, but it's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
Also, it's
because it's not a guy named Trevor who lives downtown who's in Joker makeup. You know?
Yeah.
I easily imagined that too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Literally. So welcome to You're Kidding. This is the intro.
This is a podcast about nothing.
Yes, we are under the influence.
Oh no, we don't know what we're talking about. Except just then, I think we did know what we were talking about.
I knew exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. But
my name is Maddison, and my pronouns are she, her.
And my name is Jayce, and my pronouns are they, them. And today we are joined by a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey, my name is Cynthia. Cynthia Hindmon, Nicole Hindmon. My pronouns are she, her. Yeah.
Yes, we are so glad to have you here today on the pod.
Yay.
Yes, and I am so excited to know what are you gonna talk to us about today?
Okay. So I couldn't think of one thing, so I just wrote down a couple things that we can just touch on, So
Perfect.
Traveling. So I want to
traveling.
So I want to travel to a few places. Well, really, I want to travel literally the whole entire United States. I know that sounds cheesy, but I don't do that stuff, and I didn't grow up traveling like that. So this is something I really want to do. Yeah.
Very big Sagittarius energy. I like that.
Wait.
Yes, I am a double Sag, but
Oh my god. So Cynthia, so you want to travel the U.S. Where do you want to go outside of the U.S.? Do you have like a number one destination?
So Italy always comes to mind. I really want to just go there, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really pretty.
It is.
I have never been outside the U.S., but I have the same wants as Cynthia.
It's really cool. I've been outside the U.S. a few times.
Oh, that's a lie. I've been to Mexico.
Oh, I've never been to Mexico.
It was very pretty. We went to Acapulco. We were supposed to go to Cancun, but a hurricane hit and destroyed our hotel. So then we went to Acapulco instead.
That's wild.
Yeah, I was really young when that happened. But anyway, more tell us more about it, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Sorry not to
What
good.
do you think is like the most exciting part about traveling? Like what do you look forward the most to on like a
just
trip?
like seeing a different parts of like I don't know, I'm used to just seeing trees, you know, nothing wrong with trees and all that, but like
Plains.
just being able to see just being able to see like the ocean, like because I've been able to do that, and I've also been able to be around places with mountains, and I know that sounds like, you know, that's basic, that's normal for a lot of places, but like I've never been able to actually see it in person, and that's just so, it's great to me, and like it's interesting to me, so yeah.
Especially being from Indiana, like it's flat everywhere and everything's boring.
Like who is she? Like who is she? You know, like yeah. I don't want to diss Indiana too hard because, like, you know, I mean, it's kind of just how I started, you know, like, and there's a lot of talented people there. And I always think about that. I'm like, you have these places that no one really thinks about, Indiana, but there's so many talented people in some of these areas. Like, and I'm like, you know, but some people believe, you know, some people either can't get out of these areas or they just want to stay there. You know, they're afraid to go out there and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what that was about, but yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. We were just talking today about how we wanted to go on a road trip.
Oh my God,
Yes.
I have to wait to find out my vacation days, but we want to take a road trip and we want to go to all of the Twilight locations.
Yeah, but we got to be COVID safe. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
yeah, for sure.
You know, we'll
Wait,
see.
I love that.
But
I think most of the Twilight locations are outside anyway.
yeah, I mean, I'm from Seattle.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm sure
I know.
I think they filmed outside of Seattle too, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit in Washington and a little bit in Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Twilight movie?
Okay, here we go. I gotta go into another story. It's not that long. All right, so I'm gonna start off by saying I'm not a fan of Twilight, but definitely when it first came out, I was one of those people who pretended to be a fan because everyone around me liked it and stuff. So I was like, let me try and watch the movie. Let me see if I like it. In 2009, I saw it with my mom, the second one or whatever, and it was like so bad. And I remember how like I was like, wow, you know, me as a kid, wow, this was not that great, but everyone in the theaters like clapped and I clapped, and I feel like I had to force myself to like it, and I didn't, you know, and I realized that months later at the time. But yes, so no.
Here's the thing. I usually, when people say they hate it, I'm like, you just hate that people like things. But the way that you explain that you don't like it, I really believe you. You just don't like it. You know what I mean? And that's fine. Like, you don't have to. But I just run into so many people that the reason they don't like it is because they just hate when people like things. You know what I mean? Especially men that hate it.
Yep.
Because they're always like, you like that dumb movie. And it's so just about them like being better than you. But that so was not. You were just like, oh, yeah, it's just not for me. You know,
And,
people
like, I mean,
so aggressively hate that movie.
I respect it now. So like, I mean, I respect this. You know, they talk about that baseball scene. It's great. It looks great. I love the filters and stuff, and it looks nice. And it's like I see what they were trying to do, but it's just not. It's not even bad. It's not my thing. I will say the last one I accidentally watched on MTV, and I didn't think that was good. Like I was like, this is not good. But that's just my opinion. You know,
I accidentally watched on MTV. I just caught that. That's funny.
I feel like Cynthia, I've had very similar experience to you. Not in terms of Twilight. I really love Twilight. I've always been a big fan of Twilight.
Me too.
But there are
Try hard
so
here.
many things things where I've been like, yeah, I love this. And then I just actually, I'm like, you know what? I don't like this, and the world can know. The world is allowed to know,
I feel like with some things, though,
I feel the same way.
it's just I don't know with that. Like, I think there's certain movies I don't like, but like I'll really try my hardest to like it, and that's what Twilight was. That like at the time I was like I really wanted to like it, but like yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Not me.
So-
I was at every midnight premiere, but
Yeah, no, literally same. But yeah, no, I feel like I would love to go to Washington. I always go to Washington though, so Washington would
I've
not
never
be my
been,
choice
though.
to travel
I
to.
do have to. Well, that'll
can
just
go.
be a stop on the road trip.
Yeah, I'm down. I would love to road trip. I love road tripping. I would love to go, if I could go anywhere in the world, I would go to Germany. I would go to Berlin,
Okay.
and that's where I would go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go to like Greenland or like Ireland or something.
Ooh, I would love to go to Ireland or Scotland.
I want to stay in
We
a
just,
castle.
So when you
You can get into one on Airbnb.
when y'all want to like, so what interests you about those places?
I have a lot of heritage in Ireland, so I think it'd be cool to go there.
Nice.
I don't know. I think that they're just really beautiful, and I love how it looks, and I love the like way that they speak. And I think it is. I don't know. The culture just seems really interesting over there.
My reason is a little bit more shallow. I really love to travel because I really love nightlife and I love partying.
I feel that.
Well,
So,
I never got to travel when I was old enough to do that.
well, dude,
so-
okay, can I tell a story? Can I
Please.
tell a story? Do you guys mind if I tell a little story?
Please tell a story.
So, a little bit ago, it was like probably almost 4 years ago now, I went to Europe with some of my family members, and we went to Paris. And it was it was just absolutely beautiful. It was crazy. It was like such a fun time. It was like the art is beautiful, the architecture is beautiful, the food is like unlike any food I've ever tasted before in my life. But my friend from high school just happened to be in Paris at the same time, living in like a hostel thing, whatever. And the bottom floor of the building she lived in at the time was like a bar. It was like a club. And so she was like, come over. And I was like, I'm on my way. And I went to her hostel. And then we met these, we were like playing this game. We were trying to guess like who was American and who was French.
Yeah.
And so we were sitting there doing that, getting drunk or whatever. And then we pointed out this one girl who was just like alone, who was American. And we went over to her and we were like, are you American? And she was like, yeah, dude, how did you know? And then we were hanging out with her. And then all of these guys showed up. And she was like, oh, yeah, like I invited all these guys over. And they were from Australia. And then we went bar hopping with all of them together around Paris. And then
That sounds
I went back to my
incredible.
hotel. And my grandma and my mom was like, hey, what's going on?
Period.
That sounds so incredible. I have to do that.
It was crazy. It was so, yeah.
Oh, I hate that we're stuck here in my
I
prime
know.
when I should be doing stuff like that. Stuck in quarantine.
I feel that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even road tripping around America, I've never done it before, but I feel like that would be so beautiful, like what you were saying.
Well, I know I watched a YouTube video like last week, and but he did it through the train. So he traveled the whole United States, and it's a long video, but it's like his experience in like not everywhere, but like, he specifically traveled from New York to California, and we got to see that experience, and it was really nice. So something like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that is super interesting.
If you could travel around the U.S., would you do so by plane, car, or train?
So I feel like car, and I know it's so much harder than it's like, yeah, it sounds hard with, gas money and all that stuff and finding a place to stay. But I think if I had an RV, I would definitely most definitely do that. Yeah.
Oh my God, Cynthia, you would be so powerful if you had an RV.
You would be.
That would be everything.
Not powerful.
Oh my God, have you seen the movie RV?
Oh my gosh. So like I know that's another movie I know, like Robin Williams, right?
I
Is
actually
that
don't
true?
know. Who's
I
in
don't.
it.
I've never heard of this.
JoJo,
so I don't
Robin
know.
Williams.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Yeah. It's
I know
Williams.
Robin Williams.
No, the movie RV you're talking about, you don't know.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to Google this because
It was one of those
just
random
came to me.
comedies. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a random movie. 2006.
2006.
It is Robin Williams
Yeah.
and
Oh.
like JoJo the singer.
Oh, that's what. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Cynthia, I did not understand that. That's what you were saying. That is so funny.
And Josh Hutcherson.
Oh my God.
Wow, it's a lot of Will Arnett. Oh my God, Matthew Ray Gubler's in that movie. Shut your fucking.
That is wild. I can't believe I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, I was not talking to my. Okay, well, I bet they heard it. So
That's
look
really
up the movie RV if you don't know what I'm talking about. But that's going to be Cynthia around the U.S.
Yeah, no, I like literally I could see Cynthia just like in a little campsite, just like standing outside of
Just
her little
standing.
RV and like a little photo. I could take a little photo of it and it would be so fun. I would
my
love it.
God.
I would love it.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I can see it now.
One place I
Oh.
hate though is Nebraska. Is it Yeah, Nebraska. I hate that place.
I lived in Nebraska. I used to live there.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Do you hate it too?
I was like I lived there for like 2 years in like second and third grade or whatever, but I lived in Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha. Nice.
You're kidding.
I did.
With Cal.
With Cal. We were best friends. No, I did not know who he was.
That is crazy that you lived in the same town.
I know.
Whoa. But why do you hate Nebraska?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I feel like that was a little harsh to say hate, but
No,
it's
we hate it.
It's,
We hate
it's
this
very
anti-Nebraska.
long and it's just a lot of nothing. No offense to Nebraska, like what are they called? People from
Nebraskans.
Nebraska.
Nebraskans.
Yes. So yeah, it's very long and there's not a lot of things there. So, but I don't hate it. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
hate. I don't. It's just there.
You can hate it, whatever. You know? I'm sure tons of people hate Illinois. Okay, go ahead.
You know what? I would love to see the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever been in a cave?
Have you ever been in a cave? I've been in a cave.
Like a big cavernous cave that's like kind of like a tourist thing.
Actually, not.
Cynthia, you're missing out.
You have to. I didn't even know that was a thing that you could like go do. And I went on like a youth group trip for like Habitat for Humanity or something. Whenever we would go on those trips, we would like do all the like go see all the cultural things and do, touristy stuff too and like whatever. And one of the things I want to say it was when we were in North Carolina, but I could be wrong about that. But they had like these massive caves and you just like go down there and walk through these caves and they teach you about the caves. And then there's a certain part in the cave. This is the crazy part that we were excited about. They bring you and they turn off all the lights and it is complete darkness, like the most complete darkness that you'll ever see in your whole life.
Because you're like deep in a cave. It's crazy.
Like underground. Yeah.
It's like really cool. Put that on your bucket list.
Put it on a bucket list.
It's so important.
Honestly, though, yes.
It's really cool.
They have things that you can stay the night.
Yeah, there's like really creepy ones. I would never do them. I am so afraid of a cave. If I'm in a group of at least 12
Oh yeah,
and I'm in a cave with a bunch of lamps, I'm good. If I'm like, okay, good night in the cave, I will simply die and pass away.
Well, there's a ton of people. It's not just you.
Well, this is me. Good night, and then I die and pass away.
and then
So
I
like,
pass away.
you wouldn't try it out or anything? Like,
No, I've
No.
been in them. I've done tours in them during the daytime, but I simply could not. I would be so scared. I'm scared of the dark, everybody. Oh no.
I am too. I am.
I feel that.
Yeah, I can't be in a cave like that. What's in a cave? How do you know what's in the cave?
Bats.
Bats
I love Halloween.
bats are in the cave.
Do bats bite?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Do they bite?
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about bats.
I know that they use echolocation, right? Don't they?
They do.
and they're awake at night.
I'm sure some of them do. I was gonna say didn't one bite Ozzy Osbourne, but actually he bit
Yes.
it. So that is like not.
I feel like they must.
I don't know.
It's is it like a mammal?
Do you know if bats bite? Leave a comment.
Leave a comment down below. This is my favorite episode I think we've done so far.
I'm having a really good time.
Oh my god.
What was I gonna say?
No bats.
Something
bite?
about like, oh, you know what else I've done that I think you should also do?
What?
When we went to Louisiana.
I've never been.
Oh, you got to go to New Orleans. Put that on your list.
I gotta go
will put it
there.
on my
Well,
list.
let's put it on our list.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we got to do the coolest stuff while we were there, but we got to go to this thing where you like go through the swamps and like with the alligators.
You told me about this, yeah.
Yeah,
Keep going.
and like you're on like this little tiny little boat thing that's like barely anything with alligators all around you. Like you can basically like reach out and touch it, and it's so cool. And it's like totally safe because alligators don't they don't attack. Like crocodiles are the mean ones. And they also like I don't know, they're not boats, they're called something else, but I can't think of it. They have like a baby one and everyone can hold it.
Aww. A baby
I have
gator?
a picture of me. Yeah, I have a picture of me and my friend holding a gator and doing like a peace sign, like a sad peace sign on our eyes. Because it was
Oh my
like the
gosh.
beginning of high school. Yeah.
It's in the 2010s.
Yeah, in the 2010s.
Can I be honest with you? Like with traveling, I don't know. That's the thing. Like this is so cheesy, but like I don't know what like because everything you're saying like it's not like I'm looking like up stuff what to look. I just want to go. You know what I'm saying? I want to go there. I want to experience that. But like definitely I'm gonna put those on my list. But like no, like I don't know what is out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I really just my family like I always hear about people being able to like they went on so many vacations when they were younger, and we could have. I don't know why we didn't when I was growing up, but like so I don't even know what to look for. I don't like when I arrive in these places. I'm always just like intrigued. I'm always too happy, because I'm like look at the grass.
Yeah.
The grass is different, and the grass is probably not.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, honestly, sometimes to go without a plan and just talk to locals and like see what they would suggest that you do. Like, because you can do so much like planning. Like when you decide where you want to go, you can look up like, where should I do? All the places I should go. And you should still like do some stuff like that because why not, But honestly, I think like just going and finding like their nightlife or even the like day life of just people,
Right.
That's the coolest part I think of like traveling is like just immersing yourself in a different culture and people, and people are so different in different places than
Absolutely.
like anywhere else.
Okay, are we ready for the next
Yeah,
topic?
so
Cynthia, I would
Yes.
love to know
Okay, here we
the
go.
next topic.
Okay. Wow. So I have one that's saying the topic of canceling people and the
Okay.
topic of pop culture. So this is more of and I have the Britney conversation. I have the disrespect towards women in society, in pop culture specifically, the industry, and Glee. So we're going to talk about briefly everything
Yes.
that is named. So let's start with Britney. It's wild just growing up, right? And like you see these like a lot of these famous people and like everyone hates them, and you are young, so you don't really know, like you're just kind of like, oh, everyone seems to dislike them, and you don't really know what they did, but like you feel like you kind of like gravitate towards that section. You don't know why, but like so everyone makes fun of this famous person, right? And like you feel like it's okay, but then like years later, and it's so cool. It's like a lot of like later millennials and like early Gen Zs, and like also Gen Z now. Like it's like you have a lot like a generation pointing a lot of these things out, you know, and it's so interesting to just see like how a lot of people's careers died because people just didn't like them, you know. So a thing I was doing on Twitter, and I'm still doing it, is just every day I'm just gonna tweet a name of like someone's career, whether they're like respected again today or just not anymore. I just want to tweet a name of someone who is just disrespected for no reason, you know.
I love that. I saw that you were doing that, and I had so many names that came to mind like right away.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, like there's so many people's careers who are just dead now, like their careers, I mean. And then like, so example, Anna Nicole Smith, right? Like she's a great example of like, I grew up like, everyone hated her, you know, you didn't really know why, and then she passed away, right? And it's just so sad because like, I just feel like if she got to see the support she's getting now, because she got support then, of course, but not that much, you know, and it wasn't loud. So it's just sad, like, because
hate women.
Yeah, no, for real.
Hate women.
Yeah, and like the people who didn't get to make it out of that, you know, who kind of just probably, you know, they left this world like probably, you know, they had their supporters, but they didn't feel completely supported, you know, probably. So it's just so sad to me.
Yeah, if I may, this is me always talking about this exact thing with Adam Lambert. We did him so dirty. He was on American Idol, and he was like literally the best singer to ever sing. And like he was about to be so famous, like, because that was when American Idol was like huge, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody watched it. Everybody knew everybody that was on it. And he was going to be this huge star. His very first performance, he is basically very gay and sexual, and something that is very like what we would see today with like everybody on stage. And he was immediately canceled. Everyone was like, we hate him. And he like never got to perform ever again after that because he was gay and like kissed someone on stage. And I mean, it was crazy performance. Like it was definitely very sexual, but like people just like could not. And then the fact that he was gay on top of that was like, you know, and then and he's never been able to like truly recover from it. Like he definitely is still a star and like does things, but it would have been totally different. And it took him years to even get to like what he is able to do now. Like now he's the lead singer for Queen, which is like insanely cool, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And people don't even know that. I know so many people that don't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. I know it. I'm an Adam Lambert fan.
Oh, me too. And he just had one of the most amazing albums ever written. And people make fun of me when I tell them to listen to it. They're like, yeah, Adam Lambert, okay. And I'm like, that is so stupid. All because, you know, society was like, no.
Yeah,
for no reason.
And, you know, to sort of speak to that with the whole Britney situation, something you said, Cynthia, earlier was like, you're young and you like don't know what's going on. And I like didn't really know much about Britney Spears when I was younger. Like I didn't, you know, I listened. It's like really weird. I don't know. I was doing my own thing. We'll say growing up, I was marching to the beat of my own drum, but I really didn't like Britney either. And I was like, oh wow, like when she shaved her head, I didn't really care that much because I was like young, but I was also just like, okay, whatever. And I like internalized that as like something negative for Britney Spears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like watching back to the documentary of like all the things that she did, and I really did like just go with the horrid mind of being like, oh yeah, it must be crazy. But looking back and like seeing it now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh my God, like did adults understand that then? Or
well, it's like the stigma surrounding like mental illness, and then also like just sort of the disrespect of women in any industry that involves fame, which is most. And even the ones that don't. Yeah.
Right. No, an interesting thing happening now is, you know, you have a lot of celebrities responding to it. And so those people, some of the people responding to it, and it excites me. I know this sounds so bad, but like seeing bad people being taken down years later, like really taken down, it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of like they deserve it. So, an example, John Mayer. So this is an interesting one because I loved John Mayer. So I started playing guitar when I first heard his stuff, like 6th grade. Anyway, so like he was someone I really liked, right? But then like he had an interview, and I'm not even gonna go over the interview, but it was so bad, and he was racist, and like I just could not look at him the same, you know, and it was very disappointing, and I really couldn't look at him the same. Anyway, so he responded, and he said he cried apparently, and he did all this, but I'm like, boy,
Okay.
you literally bragged about having all the women you had sex with in an interview. And he was just disrespectful to Jessica Simpson because they dated. Like, it was very out there. Like, it wasn't private stuff. Like, this is all stuff you can see from interviews, you can see from, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like all these people like him coming out who were part of the problem, visibly part of the problem, and it's just weird. And like, but I'm interested in the demise. I know that sounds of bad people. I'm interested of canceling bad people. Okay, yeah.
Well, it is sort of interesting, just like watching the way that fame works. It's like sort of we've abolished like the idea of monarchy, right? But we sort of treat celebrities like, I don't know, they're just like above everybody else.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to sort of see how that functions now with like the use of the internet and like fame in the terms of the people who like do get like sort of taken down so like grandly for all of this like heinous shit that they've done in the past, you know? It's like, I agree. I love to watch it. I'm like, haha, fuck you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Yeah.
This was me having James Charles following numbers drop pulled up on my TV.
Yeah, there's just
my.
like,
I just, you know, and I mean,
yeah.
obviously he's not even the worst. That's like a blip on the radar of the worst.
yeah.
But I want to
Like-
also, I want to touch on like the fact, like, it's, I guess this is another conversation. So like, you know, you have those people who I feel like I have to clarify with people. Like, I don't just cancel random people. I'm not like a person who's like, oh, you did this, I hate you, know. I don't want people to think that I'm like that, but it's like, it's just my opinion. It's like, I personally cannot support you if you do something that I just don't agree with. And like, I understand we're not going to all agree with things, but like, celebrities that we've excused, they've done a lot of like really stupid things, and I'm like, even if my best friend did this,
And
like,
repeatedly.
yeah, if my best friend did this, I'd look at them funny. It's not just the celebrity, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I hate that I have to clarify, but I'm like, you don't have to cancel them, but I will, and that's just me, like, you know?
Yeah, no.
I totally hear that.
I hear you. There's a lot of things that I am just like, and I will not participate in that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. But free Britney.
Free Britney.
For real.
I love her.
Are we talking about it too much? I feel like
What?
we talked about Britney a lot on this podcast now.
Oh, really? I
and
love
here's
that.
the thing.
Yeah, no, I do believe in free Britney. I love talking about it. I will say
Yeah,
that.
I mean, bring awareness to it, you know. It was so funny. I saw this tweet that was like, Gen Z, eat the rich. Gen Z, give Britney all her money back. And I was like, yeah, but that's different because like she earned that money and someone's literally stealing it from her. And also she
Yeah.
doesn't even like want any of it back. She literally just wants him gone. Like it has nothing to do with the money for her.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that I don't know. I don't know if we need to get into this, but I think that a lot of people, in my eyes,
I do think we should eat
and-
the rich though.
Well, no, in my eyes and in my interpretation of like, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna get political, but we might take this out.
I mean, yeah.
So in my eyes, and like the version of like socialism and communism that I sort of believe in, right? I think like the sort of like concept of eating the rich, quote unquote, like, you know, in reference to getting rid of like the 1% and redistributing wealth amongst the people because there's so much money in the world and so many people who are just like, I mean, everybody knows this, but you know what I'm saying? And I think that the term eat the rich coming from that has sort of been like misconstrued by like pop culture and social media to mean like, let's kill anyone who has a disposable income or like this and that, you know what I mean? But it's really about like the CEOs and taking down like those people who are profiting off of unfair and like systematically problematic and insane, things. They're like benefiting off of the backs of the people. And they need to redistribute the wealth. And Britney is not benefiting off of the backs of the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was trying to say, but way better. Way
I don't know if that made
eloquently.
sense, but that's how I feel about politics.
And I found myself like, at some point, like, so I know everything you said is so true. Like, and I found myself, I felt like there was a I don't know, it was a video on Twitter, and like it was like a rich, so it was a rich girl. So I don't know if you've seen this, but like it was like a TikTok video of this girl. She's in New York, and she's just treating herself, and everyone was hating that. Like everyone was like being rude to her, but it was like why, and it's like they were, they didn't like that she was rich. I don't know. It was just a weird thing, right? So in that moment, I was like, why? I wonder, I'm just watching. I think that's another thing with Twitter. I feel like I observe too. And I learn from people. I learn from, and like, it was just like, she's not really doing anything wrong. Like, yeah, she's rich, but like, well, I mean, she's not doing anything wrong. So like, she's getting a lot of hate for like treating herself.
Yeah,
and then
she's
like,
not
I think
Jeff Bezos.
Right.
Yeah.
And like what happened was, you had a lot of people bringing that point up, and it made me realize, because there were some people I feel like I was like, ugh, like, I mean, people like fame influencers, I'm like, but like they also help out. So why am I criticizing them? You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense, this might be cut out. So yeah, yeah, cool.
No, yeah, but no, that makes sense to me. I just didn't know if I was going to speak so eloquently or so. I don't really know how it came off, but I just don't want to be like spreading the wrong message about socialism, because it's just, but that's how I personally approach it. What else would you like to say on this topic? Would you like to move on? Would you like to continue with this topic?
Okay, so I guess we can I think we talked enough about that. Okay, cool.
If you want to talk more about it, I'm down to talk more.
Specific thing that you.
Yeah.
I don't. Do you all have something you want to talk about? Pop culture?
Yeah, no, we're all good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, what's next?
Yeah, what's next?
Okay, it's just now I'm looking at my choices and I'm like, I don't know if this is okay. We won't talk too long about this, but apartment hunting. Okay, so
I have lots of things to say about that.
I'm in the market for a new apartment. I'm about to move out of my apartment complex.
I'll help you.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
There's a lot of hurdles we got to get over before we can even get to the hunting part.
What do you have to say before I interrupt you?
So this is this is like a PSA, I guess. There's a lot of PSAs tonight, but this is, this one, I honestly believe that, when this is just for anybody who's listening. So honestly, you need to make sure you really check out that apartment before you buy it. Okay. Make sure that it has an oven. Make sure the views is what you like it. 'Cause I have a view of my neighbors, the whole family. I know when they go to work. Okay. Like it's just, anyway, so like just make sure, it's an exciting process. It was very exciting to look. This is the first place, the place I'm in right now. This was the only place I looked at. That's not good. That's bad. Why did I do that?
Oh yeah, you got to keep looking, girl.
But I was like, no, you know what stopped me from looking? What stopped me was my mom was like, she was like, I don't want to park. This parking's too hard. And we were just like, the first place was nice. So yeah, don't do that.
Chicago parking is impossible.
Yeah, Chicago parking does suck. Like that's a really hard part looking for apartments. But yeah, there's so many things to look for when you're looking for an apartment, like that you wouldn't even know until you've done it, like until it's too late. I feel like. And it's like you said, make sure there's an oven. Sometimes you like miss stuff like that, or the way that the house is like heated and cooled. If you hate radiators, or like where is the laundry and how much money is it, or is there one at all? Like, so and I know there's like a million more things. Like you said, the view, the parking, how close it is to the train.
Yep.
I live right next to the train in my current apartment. That shit is loud as fuck. It is so annoying. And you know what? When I was apartment hunting, I don't want to speak ill of my landlord. No, landlords are evil. First off, landlords are evil. No one should lord the land. That should be abolished. Okay,
Exactly.
but when I was getting shown around by my landlord when I was apartment hunting, and the windows were like closed in the apartment that I was in. And it was on the side of the building that I live in. So it was like same view. Yeah. And she literally was like, do you hear that? And there was like no trains coming by. And I was like, no. And she was like, that is like the sound of this apartment. It's completely silent. You barely hear the train. Like it's nothing. Bitch, the brown line runs till 2 a.m, ma'am.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? Are you like...
I don't have a problem. I lived next to a train as well for a year, and I loved it because I really like noise. But if you don't like noise, then
it just gets so annoying because, like, here's the thing. We record self-tapes. We do these things. We record a podcast when I'm at home, and you can hear everything because the windows are not, they're like old. The building is like 1 million years old.
Yeah.
That's just me complaining about my apartment. So that's a lesson I've learned.
Yeah.
So look for that kind of stuff when you're
that part.
hunting.
But I was talking close to the train just for walking wise to like get around because most of the time, if you live in Chicago, unless you're pretty far out, like I only have a car because of how far out I am and quarantine. Honestly, if quarantine wasn't a thing, probably would have just been on the train still. But it like, you know, walking distance to the train and where that specific train can get you to go to like the loop or like things like that.
Exactly.
Is like ants. Oh my God. If you're looking for an apartment, check everywhere to see if there is ants because it is so hard to get rid of ants in an apartment. And if they're already there, you're screwed, bruh.
I didn't even think about that.
And they're so hard to see if you're not looking for it. But once you start looking for it, they're there. So take a look-see. That's a big one.
That's good to know. No, these are all helpful, by the way, because that's something I didn't
You're
even think
so
about.
welcome.
Like,
I will send you a list. I've been apartment hunting many times in my life at this point. I've seen so many apartments. I live in like a pretty good one right now. It's like pretty big for not that much. And Bryce and I have a good time. The laundry sucks. But that's pretty much the worst thing, honestly. But we live right next to the train, which is nice as well. But not close enough to hear it, like Jayce said.
Yeah. Something I really like about my building is that they let us paint our apartment.
Oh, I wish.
So I painted all the walls. Yeah, like all my walls are red, and then my kitchen has like a pink and red pinstripe wall I did, and then a majority of the walls are yellow, and I did some like just like random like I just like drew I just like painted on the wall just like random stuff, and I like did a little bit of like Keith Haring's. I had like a couple little Keith Haring drawings on my wall, and then I have like a flower, like little daisy flower wall that I did, and I have a cow print wall. And I just painted it at the wall. It was at the very beginning of quarantine. I like had this paint set because of TikTok that I bought. And then I was like, I am going to paint all of my walls now. And then I painted almost like all of the walls in my kitchen, essentially.
Yeah.
nice.
It looks so cool. I so wish that I could do that. I love, and I've heard you say this exact thing, I love a dark color on a wall.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, it makes me feel homey. I like when things are all dark in the apartment. But I do want it to be like bright, like window wise. Like, I want there to be lots of light let in, but like the stuff, I like dark colors.
No, like I want to go off of that. Like, I feel like, so if I were to be able to do that, like I would paint it dark, just dark so like dark orange. I don't know specific colors, so I'm just gonna say dark, light, bright colors.
That makes
so
sense.
Like dark orange or dark green and dark red. Those are like colors I really like in a place. And dark yellow, like oof.
Yeah, mustard. Like,
Oh, I love that color. That's beautiful. Yeah, so I'm very grateful for that aspect of my apartment. But that's like a very rare thing. I don't know why they let us do that.
Well, you do have to paint over it, though, before you move out, though, right?
Yeah, but like you'd still think that.
Yeah, still usually
like,
they won't let
what
you.
is that, you know? But grateful for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to deal with that soon. I'm moving out.
Yeah, that's going to suck.
I'm moving out. Copyright.
Moving out. Oh.
We got twofer. There's a twofer.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
It's not even the lyrics. I'm coming out.
I know.
Did you know, I saw on TikTok that everybody, for years has debated whether that song is about actually like coming out and being gay or not. And then on TikTok the other day, the guy who wrote it made a TikTok and he was like, oh, it's absolutely about being gay. Like all these people who are sitting here and like, no, it's a metaphor. No, it's not. We knew that her audience was gay people and we wrote a song. I'm coming out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We absolutely knew what we were doing. I just loved that. I was like, thank you for validation.
Is there anything else to say about apartment hunting?
Oh yeah. Do you have a cat or animals at all?
So not with me, but I have some like in my hometown. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, is seeing if they take pets or not.
Are you a cat person or a dog person?
I'm a cat person. Yeah.
Me too.
Strong.
Me too.
I'm a dog person.
I have a cat. His name is Gordon Ramsay.
Yes.
I love him very much. I call him Gordy. I call him Gordo. I call him Gubba. I go Grubba. That's what I do at him.
He's so cute.
I love
He's
him
so
fluffy.
much.
He's like my son and also
Aw.
my best friend. Sorry, Madison.
That's rude.
I love him so much.
What kind of cat is Gordy?
I don't know. He's like a mix. I got him from the Humane Society, and they were like, I don't know. He's long hair. He's mean, so I know he's one
so
of the ones
cute.
that's mean.
He's
You
gray.
Aw.
He's like gray and brown. He's like very handsome.
He is very
I love
handsome,
him.
yeah. I like cats, but I like dogs more. But I do like cats. I have a dog. Her name is Robin, and she's the best. And she's a little. Well, we think she's also a mutt. We don't really know, but we think that she is a pit black lab mix. I think there might be some blue heeler in her though, because she's really small and she's full grown. She's like a year and a half old, and she's like 40 pounds. And I feel like pit bulls can get small, but that's like pretty small, especially to be mixed with black lab. Like she definitely is. I don't know, but she's the cuddliest dog and the sweetest dog ever. Sometimes she pees on the floor when she gets happy, like yesterday. But
Yeah, she almost peed on my foot. Robin,
she doesn't usually do that.
Robin is always crazy whenever I'm around, I feel.
Yeah, because I got her at the beginning of quarantine, so she really, the only people, and she was a stray before that, like they found her on the streets. And she was like very young. Because when I got her, she was like 9 months old, and that was in April. So yeah. But she was on the streets, and so she just doesn't know a lot of people because she's just like been here all through quarantine. So whenever we have someone over, which is pretty rare because quarantine, so it's mostly just Jayce. Like she freaks out. She just loves people and playing, and she's the best dog ever. She's really good with other dogs too.
Yeah, she's super sweet. She
Even-
just is like really excitable, but like she's a
Yeah.
baby, so
Yeah, she's
what are you
still a
gonna
puppy.
expect?
So
She's also just like a dog, so what can you expect? You know?
as she gets older, she definitely won't be like that anymore. I've had dogs like that in the past, but yeah, but she's the best. She's with producer Bryce right now, so she wouldn't be too crazy on the microphone.
Yeah. Bryce says hello, by the way, Cynthia.
Hey,
Yeah.
Bryce. How is it? Aw.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what pets do you have back home? Tell us about them.
So I have cats. I grew up with 2 cats, and now I have 2 new cats, which is weird to say, but like, I love all my cats. Anyway, but like I'm severely allergic to dogs, so that's the only reason why I can't get into dogs. Like I can be around obviously a pet like outside, but like I don't know, there's something about dog hair when I'm around a dog. It's just I cannot, like I start wheezing. It's really bad. I start coughing. Like it's horrible.
So this
Yeah.
is this like not something that like taking like an allergy thing will like help? It's like you have to completely avoid them like being in an enclosed space kind of thing.
So I remember the reason why I know this was because my freshman year, I went to someone's house and they had, their house was kind of dusty. So no offense, not dissing them, but the house was dusty, and then they had like a bunch of animals. So that's probably why I was sick for like 5 weeks after that. But I couldn't breathe, like literally, I could not breathe. Like I had to go home because it was like everything was messing up. Like I couldn't breathe. It was bad, and I was coughing, and I lost my voice, everything. Anyway. So yeah, dogs are not my thing.
That is like absolutely wild. I'm so sorry about that. My dad's really allergic to cats, but I think he just says that because he came to my apartment. Okay, this is a call out post for you, Dad. So he came to my apartment for Thanksgiving, right? And my cat was there, and he was like best friends with Gordy. Like he loved him. He was like really in love with him. And my whole life he's always been like, he wouldn't actually do this, but he says things like our neighbors back in San Antonio. I don't even want to bring it up, but they would feed like the stray cats in the neighborhood. They would leave food out. And my dad hated it because he was like, I'm allergic to cats. And so he would be like, if I see like a cat outside of our front door, I'm going to kick it. And he would talk about and he'd be so rude and talk about how much he hates cats. And then
Gordy and him were.
And then he came over to my apartment and he was like only hanging out with Gordy. Did not want to talk to anybody else but my cat.
Dads always be like that with pets. They're always like, no, we can't have any. I hate them. They're the worst, blah, whatever. And then the pet comes into the house and the dad and the cat are always like,
yeah, he just absolutely loved Gordon. I was like, okay, match made in heaven. He's so angry to me, but yeah, but that's a fun fact.
That's so Gordon. Funny. My dad was like very against big dogs. And so when I was like, I want a big dog, even though he does not live with me, I live on my own. He was very against that. And when I brought Robin home, she's like medium size. She's definitely not huge, but she's definitely not small, 40 pounds. And he is like absolutely in love with her. Like they have so much fun, and it's so funny because he's like, big dogs, bleh, they're bad. And then he's like, hi, Robin, that's my Robin. I talk to her like that, but
so what kind of a cat do you prefer? Like, do you have like a preference of cat, Cynthia?
No. So that's another thing. Like, I don't know. So I should know these things, like, of what type of cat I have, but I really don't. Like, so I know my old cats. Sky was Siamese, and Angel was a Persian cat, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah. So do you prefer like a fluffy one or like one
that's what she's, yeah.
No, I mean like breed or characteristic is what I'm thinking. Like what is...
So pretty much so this is what I found out when I went to college and came back home. I am allergic to cats as well. So like I can be around cats,
oh, no.
But like it's worse with dogs, but I can be around cats. But when I go home, even now, I have to take allergy medicine anyway. But yeah,
oh, no.
The more so if a cat is really fluffy, I probably can't be around it because of the hair, which sucks.
Then you wouldn't be able to be around
Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still like them. So yes, those fluffy cats.
So you prefer
I rode horses when I was younger.
Same.
I'm a recovering horse girl. And the woman who owned the farm I rode horses at was allergic to horses. And she would have to get shots every month so that way she could just be around her horses because that's what she loved.
That is dedication.
That's about to be me with cats. Like, because I'm this close to living with a cat because, like, I'm live by myself now, which is a whole other thing. And I, like, even when I get the sniffles around my cats, I'm like, I still want them here, you know?
Yeah. Harmonized.
Yeah. Do you have anything
to say? Do you have an agenda to push?
I guess like I put college. We already kind of touched on that, but like the college experience. Yeah. College experience.
Talk about the college experience.
Yeah.
I will say, I love school.
I know you do.
I love school so much it's probably my favorite thing to do. And I know that sounds a little weird, but I love going to class and I love taking notes and I love getting grades. And it's my favorite thing. And that is my opinion on school. And so college has been overall, on that side of things, very fun for me because I love school. So how do y'all feel about it?
I guess like because I enjoy. I guess with school in general, I do. I guess it's just the financial part of it can be really tough for a lot of people, including I. But I think culturally, there's so much you can learn at college, at a college and all that stuff. And I always think about, sorry to kind of get off, but I'm still on topic. I always think about what if I went to an evangelical college? You ever heard of those?
Yeah.
Like, that would have been wild. I don't know how I would have stayed there, first of all.
Yeah.
I always think about that. Yeah.
Was that something that you seriously considered when you were looking at colleges?
So basically,
okay.
So there was one point like during college because I was having a really rough time and I was like, you know what, I'm about to apply to this evangelical college and I don't know why I was thinking that because I know life would have been like, I don't know, I just would have felt really like, I don't know. But
yeah,
like
constricted,
anyway.
confined. I hear you.
Yeah, so like so I guess yes. So I was at some point thinking about going to that. Culturally, I think you can learn a lot in college, and meet a lot of different people. And I think that's one thing I've definitely experienced in college, and that's been helpful. Like different lifestyles and being able to just see how other people live, and like maybe that's how you want to live, and add that to your, life. So I think college in that way is really great.
Yeah, I agree. I've had a lot of I don't know. I feel like a lot of my in my younger life, I sort of dreamed, I guess, or thought about what college was gonna be like. You know what I mean? And parties and stuff. And then I don't know. I just feel like I got the opportunity to do so many things. And
yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
All throughout school, I was like, I hate school and I can't wait for it to be over and I'm graduated. And for the most part, with the exception of my acting classes for the most part, or things that really, really were specifically what I wanted to do. I really loved those, but I love learning new things and I love doing that, but I just hate being forced to do it. I want to do it on my own time. I want to do all my own research and I want, all those things. So being in class is really hard for me. I can never read a book when someone tells me to read a book. I know that's so stupid and I should just do it, but I just can't. I just want to be able to pick it up and do it myself and not be on a schedule. But I did really love my college experience and I really miss it. And right now I feel like I wish that I was doing something like that. But I also think that if it wasn't quarantine, I wouldn't feel like I want to go back and do that because I would be doing more stuff. It's just because nothing's going on right now. But yeah, that's how I feel. Definitely no more school for me. Maybe a class here and there on something I want to do. But
yeah, I feel that as well. I don't think I'm gonna go to grad school or anything. I haven't been looking, so because if I wanted to, I probably would have looked 2 years ago. Anyway, so I don't know. I probably will take some classes because I still feel like there's things that I need to work on. Well, of course, I'm not saying I'm gonna leave the school perfect. Obviously not. But even after this, I think I'm still interested in taking some other classes and other skills to just keep working on it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's always important. Anything you can do to sort of contribute to and further your craft is super useful, especially in the theater world. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't have to go to grad school to continue learning about acting, in any capacity. Like there are so many facets of acting that you can learn about at like different theaters in Chicago and beyond. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Though I am looking into grad school personally.
Oh,
but
I'm
that
not
is
like
me.
looking down on it. It's just not for me.
No, I know.
Though I do also think college is a scam. But then I also think you do learn great things at it. But
Yeah.
then I think it's just like, you know, what private institutions turned it into was like so messed up. But
Yeah.
it's where we are.
Yeah. It's something that has been like really useful for me personally,
Yeah.
you know? And but obviously there is like a lot wrong with educational institutions as like a whole. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Obviously. Yeah. Yeah. Wild. College, what a crazy
days.
time.
And it's so sad too that like I guess all of us actually will never really truly get to experience like the last bit of it.
I got banned from the Dwight
Oh, let's talk about that. Okay.
2 years ago
For why?
for being drunk at the Dwight. Are you kidding me?
Why else?
Yeah, why else would I get kicked out of that building?
Can I add? Like, I feel like that's part of the experience. I don't know why I forgot about that. So I was banned from the Plymouth. So I was banned from Plymouth.
Oh my God, why?
And then I was So I was banned from the University Center first, and then Plymouth.
No,
So it's
not the
University.
UC.
So
Miss UC.
first of all, with the University Center, so it was early in like my freshman year. I didn't know the rules like with the guest policy. So when you are staying overnight or whatever, you get like a paper or something. And I didn't, when you leave, you have to give the security guards the paper back. I never did that. Ever. So I was just always going, staying and then leaving at like random times early anyway. And, at one random day I tried to go in and they were like, you are like, we got an email saying that you cannot come back or something. And it was like, wait, what? Wait, I was like confused. And basically you can go back. You just have to send an email for a repeal or something. And that's what I did. But it was just like, apparently
They have the
you just
weirdest
gotta give
rules
them,
though.
No, they do. And now I know what the rules are, but I didn't know at the time. Plymouth, so, the old, you get banned if there's alcohol in the dorm and stuff.
yes.
So there was a party.
It's a dry
and
campus. It is so not a dry
Yeah.
campus.
Not at all.
And I'm like, and I actually just got there, so I was probably there for like an hour or something. But I guess, the music was loud, and then they had to do like a check and stuff, and they just found stuff. So that was that.
That's what happened at the Dwight. There was people. No, never mind. I don't want to talk about it. But we did get busted. at the Dwight.
got banned from basketball buildings.
I should have got banned from the Plymouth because Lord knows I was there drunk all the time. But I never got banned. So, but I did get banned from the
Plymouth.
Dwight. So
I miss Plymouth. I know that's a like controversial statement, but like it's an interesting place. I kind of had some great times there. I don't know.
Yeah, the setup was interesting for sure. That's where my roommate lived before now.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who used to live there.
I think what's interesting, it stands out from all the other buildings. So you have all these, like, I'm not trying to say the Plymouth wasn't nice, but like when I would give tours and stuff, I would always present, I'd be like, we have this and that. And then like, I always like, unfortunately, I didn't mean to do this, but I always would leave Plymouth out. Like, I would talk about it, but I always talk about it like it was, because it was the oldest building and it was just kind of like, it is different from the Dwight and University Center and everything
but,
else. So
for me, at least, the like rooms and stuff were bigger than in 30 East. 30 East is tiny compared to Plymouth.
yeah.
Like I think I would rather live in Plymouth than 30 East. Honestly.
I don't think I've ever been inside 30 East.
It's tiny, dude. Like it's tiny.
Oh, you know what? Well, I didn't live on campus my sophomore year, but I lived in a nearby apartment complex that was basically 30 East. And when we were looking at apartments, we wanted to move into 30 East. And then someone bought it, like the whole building, so we couldn't move in anymore. And we were like, oh shit. So we picked a different one. And then it was Columbia. And we were like, are you kidding?
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's not, it's like it's good apartments. Like it's really well furnished and it's beautiful and the views are really nice. I've had some friends who live there and their apartments were lovely, but it's just like the Plymouth
my
was
God.
just
I
like
was
so
thinking 30
large.
East was the Arc. Sorry. I've definitely been to 30 East. That's such a lie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking it was the Arc.
Yeah, it's just like compared to the size of Plymouth, it's just like a lot smaller.
That is true.
The
I
thing
don't know.
is,
I don't know about the cost though.
what with 30 East, it is small, but it does have some really great perks. Like it does have, you know, along with the views, the in-unit laundry really gets people, like folks, and I love that. Like I appreciate it. And yes, and I think it has a dishwasher. I'm probably wrong on that, but yeah.
Yeah, and they do have a really cool like sort of recreational floor with like a coffee like vending machine and like a microwave and like stuff, you know. But they also have like kitchens in most of the apartments, you know.
Yeah.
So you don't really need the microwave, but I don't know. Maybe if you're making mac and cheese. I've made mac and cheese in the microwave in 30 East.
You have?
Yeah,
That's
I
really
have.
funny. I really miss the loft at Columbia.
Yeah.
That place. And then they moved it to the student center and then it just sucks at the student center. It was so great in the dance building. You know,
Cynthia,
where you
you're
could
a
like,
big fan of the student center, aren't you?
I like the student center.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Like okay, so I didn't know what you meant with the loft. Now I'm remembering. It's the place with Beyonce in it, right? Like it's like there's a cardboard like thing.
Oh,
of
maybe
Beyonce.
there is
Have you
now.
seen
I don't
that?
know if there was then. But it was
There is.
the top floor of the dance center and it was just filled with couches and like big bean bags and stuff and microwaves. And then they moved it to the student center and then there's like barely any seating anymore at all. And you also have to go through like an office to get there and it's super weird.
Yep.
When we all used to use it to like nap between classes because we had, you know, because we lived so far away. Well, I did. And things like that. And it was just like, what? And yeah, it didn't make any sense to move it there, but whatever.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that space as well. But I honestly, to be completely transparent with everybody, I haven't been to the new one that's in the student center, so I might just be shitting on the student center.
I've been to it.
but I
It
haven't.
sucks.
How do you feel about it, Cynthia?
Oh, I was talking about the loft sucks. The student center is great. I will.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I remember I was one of those I feel like I was one of those people who were like, you know, because before the student center happened, you know, it was kind of like tuition went up, you know, it was just kind of like, what is this place for? Like, what is this going to be like, you know? And I think because of that, I realized I need to use this more. And like when it opened, I was like, whoa, I'm just going to use all this. Maybe it's not that fascinating, but I'm going to act like it is. And like, I spent a lot of time in the student center. Even now, like when I go back on campus, I just spend my time in there and stuff. And I love that place and I'm going to miss it. It's a great space for like off-campus students.
That's true. That's true. I do. The people who work in the little coffee shop. I mean, I think the coffee shop is closed now because of the panoramic. But yeah, no. When it was open, the people who worked there were so nice. There were some cool aspects to it. They had like sewing machines there and stuff.
I worked at the gym in the student center. It was the best job ever.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
It really was the best job ever. And, you know, I think there's a lot of really useful things in it. I think that it could also use improvements. And I do think that they could have used more money that we gave them for other things too. But I still like the student center and think it's very useful.
Yeah. So college, crazy years, you know, crazy times.
Crazy.
And then now we're about to just move on and be done. And then that's it. And we open a new chapter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of already opened it, but we're getting into the edition.
I've looked at the cover.
Yeah.
I've thought about reading it.
That is so funny.
Started.
Oh my God. And to all of that, I will say, you're kidding.
Hey, you're kidding.
You're kidding.
Say you're kidding.
Cynthia.
You're kidding.
Perfect. Oh, no. You're kidding.
We lost you in our AirPods.
You're kidding.
It was perfect timing though, so.